a great time, guys. Happy Wednesday night from the desert, live from Phoenix, Arizona, guys. Fun times await.
Good to be back.
And really it's incredible that it's been 14 weeks. We are going into the 14th week of the NFL, 14th week of our weekly sports pod here. We've had some special episodes in between. We had some UFC, some NBA, and then our other episodes which we're going to continue to produce more of. But wow, 14 weeks in. I was listening to one of our old podcasts and I totally forgot about Cooper Rush. Like, it's just already come and gone. Like, so much has happened this season. Like, wow.
He
Um,
did have an interesting little run. Yeah, that was fun, and I didn't know if Dak was gonna come back, so it's been an interesting back half, no doubt.
and I would say this is one year where I think every year everybody overhypes the Cowboys. They kind of expect the Cowboys to be great, but from what I remember, I mean, in my lifetime, this might be the best Dallas Cowboys team. I mean, I was around as a young pup for the early eras of Aikman and Emmett Smith, but they were washing out of the league by the time I was really getting a grasp on the league and starting to watch. So it's nice to see, I guess. I mean, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but you got to feel good for that fan base who's went through 30 years of peril. Um,
I gotta disagree on that. I don't feel good for him at all. This feels like last year. It feels like any year in football. I heard somebody today on an ESPN national radio station say that, man, what a shame it'd be if the Cowboys get to the Super Bowl and don't win because they couldn't bring in Odell Beckham Jr. and that was the last piece they needed. And I'm just thinking, stop it. The Dallas Cowboys aren't going to the Super Bowl. I
yeah,
mean, what a pointless combo.
I think they're prone to just fucking up. Something's gonna go south. I don't know whether it's going to be just Dak throwing a pick down the line or the defense folding. Their defense looks good, which looks great, really, which is mainly the reason why I have some belief in them this year. And you got to figure Dak's got enough season under the belt. You got these guys coming back, Gallup and CD Lamb. So everybody stays healthy. They got good talent, but just something tells me they're not. I haven't been able to take them serious. Um, Same thing with the Vikings. A lot of people expect the Vikings to lose this week to the Lions. Um, there's only a few teams. I mean, it's like the Eagles and Chiefs and Bills, and that's really it. It's probably going to be one of those three that went Super Bowl, and there's really probably not going to be anybody else to compete with them. Uh, so that's just what I see in Dallas. From watching all these 14 weeks, and so we start with tomorrow night, prime game, prime video, Vegas Raiders at the Rams. Baker Mayfield, maybe. Uh, I forget the guy's name. Bryce Petty, Bryce
Bryce
Perkins.
Perkins?
God, man. Yeah, I just the spread's now at 7 points. It was at 6 earlier today when I made my picks, and I'm still swinging with the Raiders to cover this. I think Raiders are getting hot now. Um, they're a bad team. They were a bad team, and they've completely almost turned it around. They're now 5-7 after starting really, really bad. Um, I like Raiders to cover here. I don't think half playbook Baker Mayfield and Bryce Petty are gonna Bryce Perkins, God, gonna get this thing done. Just don't think there's enough there. I know Aaron Donald was injured last week. Cooper Cup's still out. It's just
A
not
lot of
looking
injuries.
not looking good for the Rams, and this is a perfect game for the Raiders to start talking. Hey, maybe we can make the playoffs now. You win this, you're going to be 6-7, 3-5 on the road. But what do you got here? Raiders at SoFi.
Well, definitely a good comeback from the Raiders. I mean, they really did look like they were pretty much out and not going to be talked about until the draft season. So definitely got to credit them coming together. But this weekend is an easy win for anybody with a quarterback that's been in place for 5 to 6 games or more. That Rams quarterback spot has been a shuffleboard lately with Matt Stafford out, and now you see Baker being brought in, but I don't think that's gonna, be enough. Like you said, Raiders should be able to get this done. I'm gonna go Vegas 27, LA 10.
Yeah, I don't see the Rams scoring more than 1 touchdown. I'll give them maybe the 2 field goals, maybe even the 3 field goals and a touchdown, the 16. But they're not gonna score more than 20 points. Davante Adams has looked fantastic. Jalen Ramsey's gonna struggle. He hasn't been good this year. I expect Davante Adams to score, and I expect the Raiders to cover. Give me the Raiders scoring 34 points to the Rams 13. This is a big one, 21-point victory. Josh Jacobs, look for another touchdown here. He's been great this season. He's now at 1,300 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns on the year. Josh Jacobs and Davante Adams absolutely have turned this team around. Davante with 12 touchdowns, 1,100 yards receiving. That over is at 44 points, totals at 44, and that is our game tomorrow night, Amazon Prime.
Bezos, back with a little Baker Mayfield action.
I don't know what happened, man. I think they rigged it for him on purpose. I think they picked bad games and they sold it to a new streamer. They were just like, "Hey, we're gonna put a slate of bad games. We know anybody wants to dabble their feet in the NFL. It's a big revenue machine. Let's give them some BS and make them overpay for it." And I think that's exactly what happened. Bezos overpaid for a slate of very bad games. There's been like 1 or 2 good Thursday night games in the 14 weeks.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, that's got I mean, viewership has to be in the red. I know Bezos, everything he does usually is in the green, but man, these games have been we've complained about them all year, just terrible. So here's another bad one.
Yeah, they're tough to watch. I find myself trickling away by the 3rd quarter. If we're not podcasting that night, I'm looking around Papa John's menus, Netflix comes up. I quickly exit the Amazon Prime games. They just haven't done it for me. The hunger has not been satisfied. So, uh, our first game, I mean, we have a slate of 10 o'clock games, but the first game ESPN listing is the revenge game, Jets at Buffalo, and the bookies are giving the Bills 10 points. Totals at 44, 31 degrees, slightly cloudy in Orchard Park. I think Bills kind of go run away with this one just on a case of revenge, but I know this Jets team is not one to shy away and they have a great defense. So, what do you see here in the rematch between the Jets and the Bills in Orchard Park? Bookies all over the Bills.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, definitely a bit of a revenge match. I mean, Jets really played well in this last game, and a lot of people were surprised. You saw Gary Vee going live shooting videos talking about good game, Buffalo. I mean, the city was elated, but I don't think they're going to do it again. And you don't want to be going into Buffalo in the ice, close to Christmas, a pissed off Josh Allen. I know they just lost Von Miller. That's a voice that's not going to be easily replaced in the locker room. I mean, this is a team that needed him, in my mind, to stay a Super Bowl contender, and I think that's why I'm going to demote them to tier 2, but, they
Yeah.
get the dub this
Yeah.
weekend, and I think it's a big one.
Yeah, I'm right with you there. I think Bills absolutely cover this train. 2 touchdowns plus. I'll give them 12. I'll say Bills 12 cover. Um, yeah, no Von Miller. That's got to make Mike White feel pretty good. But let's be honest, the Bills got a lot more talent than the Jets do. Jets are young. They're well coached. You know, they're a strategy team. They're a grit and grind team. Um, it's not going to happen this time. Jets move to 7-6. Bills pull ahead. They'll be 10-3 on the year. Stephon Diggs, look for a big game. Big game giving Sauce Gardner some issues. I like the Bills for sure. Division bounce back revenge game. 31 and cold. Those hit sticks are going to be frosty on the fingers. Watch out, boys. Um, Browns and Bengals is our next game. Joe Burrow supposedly winless against the Browns since he's coming to the league. That ends this week. Jamar Chase is back. He's going to be playing into shape. Deshaun Watson not exactly at that level yet. It's going to take him a couple weeks, probably even next season before we see anything decent out of that guy. Browns cover this one or Bengals cover this one. To me, it's at 6 points, a total of 47. 40 degrees, slightly cloudy in Cincinnati. CBS 10. What do you got on this one?
I like the Bengals to wrap this thing up by the time the fourth quarter starts. They're getting hot. Like you said, Jamar's back. He's healthy. I really like what Mixon's done on the ground this year, just continuing to be a force. And the Bengals have just quietly repeat some of that success that they had last year. And everybody heard the chatter about, well, that they're going to have a slump and who comes back great after the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to do it again. They're out here winning again, and they might win that division after really a lot of us, including me, thought the Ravens were going to win it. So I like them to keep the momentum going this weekend. Joe Burrow with a big game, 250 plus, FanDuel it up, and Massage Watson just in a tough spot.
Yeah, I think I mean, looking at their record, the Bengals, I could swear the Bengals, I believe, were 1-3 at one point in time. They're 8-4 now. They're 4-1 at home. And a lot of those wins have come without Jamar Chase. T. Higgins has stepped up, Hayden Hurst, Samaje Perine, P. Ryan, whatever. Bengals, they're getting hot. They're gonna stampede. Look for the Bengals. They're gonna move to 9-4. And now the script has completely flipped as Robert Downey Jr. says in Tropic Thunder, look, usually it's the Super Bowl loser that's tanking like crazy. Super Bowl winner at least gets back to the playoffs, second round, something like that. Injuries have riddled the Rams, but before that, they were not performing. The Rams are 3-9, the Bengals are 8-4. Bengals are gonna get back to second round of the playoffs, possibly. I like Buffalo and Kansas City over them in the AFC, of course, but hey, this Bengals team, they keep it up. They could be playing themselves right back into the Super Bowl if you get hot at the right time. That's all that matters. So, Bengals cover this one to me absolutely. Watson and gang not going to get it done with the dog pound. So, big rivalry game, by the way. But yeah, Burrow not going to go 0-5 against the Browns. Not this week, not in this weather, not today. Um, a game where I'm going to go against the Cowboys on the spread here because the spread's at 17 points. It's Texans Cowboys in-state rivalry. Lovey and the boys are 1-10. They're bad. They're really bad. I think Kyle Allen's the quarterback this week. That's a lot though. 17 points is a lot. Backdoor field goal says Texans plus 17. But what are your thoughts here?
Um, I actually think the Cowboys cover. I know that's a hell of a line, but I just think that Davis Mills is just really in over his head with the assignment this weekend. I mean, this is a Dallas defense that can create havoc, certainly, on the pass rush front. And, Mills just he tends to be an up and down guy. And I just see the Cowboys running away with this, probably something like to the tune of 24-3 or 31-13.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I again, records say that's completely plausible. 1-10 Texans on the road at the Cowboys, in-state battle. Cowboys have just they're clicking right now, so I don't know. I mean, I think it's a trap game, really. The bookies are trying to get people. If anything, go for the total there. It's at 46 points. Go for the total. Either way, I think Cowboys at least get into the 20s or 30s scoring wise. And you might get, something in the teens out of the Texans and hit that over. So look for that if you want to play it safe. 46 is a nice number at 45 and a half. Vikings and Lions. Now, this is a game a lot of people, from what I've heard, professional analysts are picking the Detroit Lions. They're saying the Lions are coming back. They're resurging at this point of the season. That everybody still thinks the Vikings are overrated, including myself. But I still think it's absurd that you can get the Vikings for plus points on FanDuel right now, and Detroit's favored by 3 with a 52 total right now. What are your thoughts on this one? It's in Detroit. Dan Campbell and the boys, but I just took Vikings for the plus because you can get it standalone straight bet. I mean, it's a field goal game either way. I mean, it's a division rivalry game. We know these are 27-24, 24-21 type of games. But I didn't know what FanDuel was thinking. What are your thoughts on this one?
I can actually see overtime in this game, just a divisional battle late in the year, a couple weird bounces, but I would take the Vikings probably -6 here. Um, I know that the Vikings beat them earlier this year, and it is really truly tough to beat a divisional opponent 2 times in the same year. We know that, but I think the Vikings definitely are gonna get it done, just simply because of the stakes. The Vikings know they are in a position like they haven't been in 5+ years. This team is rallied, man. They understand the moment. And Lions have had some success, but there's just not that um, consistency I think that we've seen out of the Vikings. You can say they won games they shouldn't, but the way I see it on paper, at least to me this year, is that when things shit hit the fan, this team found a way to win, and I think they're going to do it again at Ford Field this weekend.
To me, it's just surprising to see Kirk Cousins come out and actually be clutch this year. I mean, granted, Justin Jefferson's very talented, top 5, top 3 receiver in the league. A lot of people think he is the best. Um, he's got the weapons for sure. Dalvin Cook stays healthy, this team's good. Um, my concern though is again, yeah, beating a road opponent, division opponent on the road a second time when they're favored and everybody's kind of leaning on the Lions right now. Um, yeah, you got if you're the Vikings, you got a hard press. You got to get this game. Move to 11-2, 5-1 on the road. It would be insane. It would be huge. You'd obviously lock up the division. Um, and if you keep on pace with the Eagles, you could possibly become the number 1 seed in the NFC. So it's something to keep fighting for. Don't sleep on the Lions because they've been putting up points. They are a high scoring offense. Um, but yeah, everything. Take the Vikings. Take the money line on the Vikings, because you can get a plus payout on FanDuel. So probably the best scenario there. And then for me, I don't remember. Let's see. I did. Oh, TJ Hawkinson. It's the Lions' revenge game. Back in the dome. Back at Ford Field. TJ
Uh-oh.
Hawkinson. TJ Hawkinson getting in that end zone.
Detroit
It's
has
fun with
been
you.
put on alert. Yeah, I mean, that's not a good feeling. When you have a star tight end come back in the same season he's traded and your secondary is already just outside of one guy, Jeff Okuda, they're
Mm.
stretched apart. There's multiple weasels who you wouldn't pencil in next year as a starter just flapping around back there. So, yeah, I'm targeting that middle of the field all day, if I'm the Vikings for sure.
Yeah, there's gonna be extra eyes on Jefferson. Everyone's gonna wanna be wanting to lock him up, double committing, and it's ripe for a Hawkinson touchdown. So that's where I'm at. I'm probably gonna actually double back and parlay the Vikings money line and the Hawkinson touchdown. But yeah, I do like that one. Jaguars, Titans, another division battle. AFC, Tennessee's getting 4. It's a weird number, 4, 46 degrees, slightly cloudy. Totals at 41. Trevor Lawrence has started to pick it up, but the Titans are 7-5, 3-2 at home. Significantly better record. I don't know. I still think this is another game that I believe could go to overtime. I don't really fully trust either quarterback to lead a team
You say
with
Jags Titans?
yeah, Jags at Titans, Nashville,
Ooh, yeah,
4-point
that's
spread. So it's a dangerous game. I think it's a field goal game. I think it's an overtime game. Coaching fest. It's gonna be who doesn't throw more picks, Tannehill or Trevor Lawrence. Um, I think you just have to lean Tennessee because they're on the road. I think the Jags won last week, right? If I'm not mistaken.
no, no,
No?
Jags got absolutely manhandled by the
Okay,
Lions.
I was
It
thinking
was like
Jets.
40 to 17 or something. I
Yeah,
I did a double take of that scoreboard. I'm like, man, Dan Campbell, School of Hard Knocks. And the
right.
thing
Yeah,
is, Nate was
Jaguars get
preaching Hard Knocks heavily. I mean, we'll
oh,
see. I
yeah.
mean,
Matter of fact, that leads me to believe Titans because back-to-back road games for the Jags, they're just too young.
they're
Not
exhausted.
experienced. Mike Vrabel's just gonna, yeah, preach the gospel to those guys in Nashville. Um,
Doug Peterson just pounded Folgers coffee in the dark before that game for sure.
yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. Gonna be a tough one. Um, yeah, Titans. I think Titans cover. I mean, now that I think about it, it's at 4 points. I thought it was gonna be closer because I do like what the Jags have done defensively, and I was thinking Trevor Lawrence is playing better, but I don't know. I think the Titans are just a more complete team, a more veteran team, and they should handle business, cover that spread of 4.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I just think Doug Peterson in too deep this weekend. The Titans under Vrabel have a consistent identity, and the Jags are just basically trying to salvage the season. So yeah, not good.
Yeah, we have another this is just division week is what it looks like. Mostly it's division week. Um, Eagles at the Giants. Eagles are 7-point favorites by the bookies, 41 slightly cloudy, 45 total. I'm saying Giants +7 on this one. I think it's just closer than a touchdown. The Eagles win this game. I think the Giants are gonna start to fade. They tied last week with the Commanders. They're 7-4-1. Eagles 11-1, 5-0 on the road. You can't go undefeated forever on the road. So if you're gonna lose a division game on the road, sounds about right. You know, if you're on the Giants wagon, Giants tied last week. They want to show that they're back to an elite team status. I don't think they ever were elite. They were pretty fraudulent coming out the gate. Um, but I think this is a game where the Giants, yeah, you got to come in and cover that spread. Um, and if the Eagles are going to lose a road game, this could be the one. But what are you thinking here?
Who won the last meeting between these two? Do you remember?
Eagles. I believe Eagles won because they've only lost one game. I believe that was the Commanders they lost to.
Okay.
Um, and of course, the Giants just tied the Commanders. So, yeah, it's a game that's, I mean, it's a division rivalry. These games are close. That's why I say 7. Don't like it. Giants +7 for me. But
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if I'm ready to commit to the Giants winning. I think that's
yeah,
a lot has to go wrong for Philly for that to happen. But +7, you're onto something with that. I think they keep it close. Probably a 4 to 6 point win by the Eagles. But Jalen Hurts is going to have to step up. It's tough to beat the same team 2 times in a row, and the Giants are scrappy. I mean, they're 7-4, 7-5, somewhere around there. So they're right there in the mix. It's going to be a big game.
yeah, I need a big game from Saquon Barkley. Gotta have that. He's eclipsed 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns on the season, but you need him to absolutely show up, help Daniel Jones out. Daniel Jones to me is a guy that's not gonna get it done against Jalen Hurts in the crunch time, which is what this game's gonna come down to. And yeah, Eagles win, Giants cover though. +7, Giants. Um, you feel bad for the Ravens. You feel bad for Lamar Jackson. Contract year, no extension, injury. Ravens are 8-4, and now they're on the road at the Steelers. Bookies are giving the Steelers a field goal, and I'm totally fine with that. Steelers -2.5 for me all day. It's Brett Hundley versus Kenny Pickett and Mike Tomlin coaching the Steelers at home. So I like the Steelers here. Steelers by the field goal. Totals at a lowly 37 points. If you're a man that believes in points, take it. I say take the under here. Kenny Pickett, Brett Hundley. What could go wrong? Not 38 points, I'll tell you that. So smash that under. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, interestingly enough, I was actually in the house for one of Brett Hundley's best performances in his
Oh,
career,
God.
when he was a UCLA Bruin. He led them to a 66-28 win here in Tempe over Arizona State. Just did everything right. But since he's got to the NFL, that has not been the story. He is a terrible NFL quarterback, to be honest. I don't think he has a future outside of maybe third string, bouncing around pretty much. But you know, what can you expect? I mean, he wasn't drafted highly. Kenny Pickett, a lot more to play for. He's trying to keep that job. So yeah, I think Pickett balls out. I'll actually give the Steelers 4 on this one. I like them winning by 4 more.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. I mean, defensively, I know, like I said, rivalry game. Kenny Pickett's young. It could be closer, but bookies were fair. When they say 2.5, hey, take it all day because Steelers could win this by a field goal or more. But I'm Steelers on this one all day. No Lamar Jackson, no W for the Ravens. It's not happening. He is the Baltimore Ravens. You want to talk about a guy that embodies the franchise. You take that guy away, the Ravens are nothing. Um,
Yeah,
Chiefs and
that is
Broncos.
a fact if I've ever heard one. Talk about one guy you pull from the team, and the team just shrinks to rubble in a dime.
Yeah,
Man.
Harbaugh will be coaching a college team. Just my next chapter, headed to the Liberty Flames. Um,
Oh, Jim Harbaugh, I'll do you one better. Without Lamar Allen or Lamar Allen, without Lamar Jackson, Jim Harbaugh might just be Tom Allen with hair. I mean, as a coach, like
man,
as far as moving forward, because where do you turn? I mean,
uh, got just assistant coach at Michigan. Man,
yeah.
it's funny. Chiefs, Broncos, Kansas City, favored by the 10. Chiefs are 9-3. Broncos are so bad. It is just I don't know how they're 3-9. The Broncos should be winless. I'm so disappointed in Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson. Like, I don't know how they sell tickets. Maybe they give them out for free at the dispensaries. Buy an ounce, get a Broncos ticket for free because
Yeah,
no
people
one
aren't. Tell you what, you're not showing up after that.
will watch Russell Wilson play. Like, this might be one of the worst free agent signings that I can remember, like in recent years. Like, it's bad.
Yeah,
It's
it's
bad.
real
Maybe
bad.
maybe that Knicks Jerome James contract. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh,
But,
Shaq to Phoenix. That could be very similar.
yeah, God, there's been some bad ones. Albert Hainsworth with the Redskins. I know everybody.
Damn, he just showed up and sat down. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Thing is, he was coming off like the best season of his career. Like I was so sold, and then he just signed and disappeared. I'm like, wow.
yeah, there's been some big bad contracts. Timothy Mozgov. I don't know you guys remember that. Other guy
Ain't
that
really.
was paid a lot of money to really just show up and hang out. Got to not be in favor of shit like that, but that's what happens in the sports world, and that's what happened to the Broncos this year. Mr. Wilson decided to take the year off mentally from the sport of American football. And the Chiefs, yeah, they're going to blow this one out of the water. There's nothing in me that says the Chiefs don't cover 10 plus, 20 plus. Travis Kelsey getting in that end zone, book it up.
Oh God, yeah.
We saw that last week, so all day. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you said the same thing, right? There's really nothing to even talk about here. It's just Chiefs running away with it.
I would just Chiefs money line it. Really, I don't know about the 10 because I mean, who knows? Like it's just weird shit. But I definitely like the money line. Like you said, yeah, Broncos just toiling worse and worse by the week. And really just no reason for it. I mean, yeah, none. I mean, chemistry's not good, but still.
Yeah, the play has been atrocious. Our next game is we're even to the afternoon hour, by the way, and the 1 o'clock games. We've moved on to Fox 125. It's the GOAT versus Mr. Irrelevant. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers going to the Bay to face Brock Purdy and the Niners. Niners by 4. The defense is so stout. The bookies say San Francisco by 4, regardless of the matchup at quarterback. Um, but no, I'm saying Tom Brady's salivating, ready to get back into the above 500 column. Um, no veteran quarterback, no W. You can try to hand the ball off to McCaffrey, but don't overdo it because he could end up in the blue tent, and then you just end up with a big L on the whole season. Niners 5-1 at home, but Brock Purdy is just not. It's not going to happen. It's just to me, it's not going to happen. I like that Niners defense, but I don't see it. That win last week for the Buccaneers was rejuvenating for Brady, and that's going to be enough to get it done against Mr. Irrelevant and the Gold Rush Niners. But yeah, how are you seeing this one shape up in the Bay?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm gonna say Buccaneers win this. I'm still not overly impressed with Tampa Bay, even though they've had a couple
Oh,
strung
I'm
together a
not.
couple of wins.
Quite. I mean,
Um,
it's a bad offense. It's a bad.
I'm still worried. I am still worried about their offense. You're right. So yeah, I don't think the Niners get it done, but what can you expect? Like you said, Brock Purdy just not ready for that role. I mean, what? not his fault. Way too early to be thrown in, so probably just an ugly game. Buccaneers got to grind it down. Maybe take it 23 to 9.
Absolutely. We did. I'm just checking in here. We did miss some comments on the side, so do apologize about that. But we had some comments come in from YouTube. Edgar says Chargers plus 3.5 and Browns plus 6. And then he also says Kenny Pickett is 24. Kenny Pickett, the aging Pittsburgh star there. So shout out to Edgar. Hope that parlay cashes, by the way. I'll look at the teaser. Chargers plus 3.5, Browns plus the 6. We will take a look at that for the sheets. Shout out to Edgar on that one. Thanks for stopping by and dropping the comment on that. Um, Buccaneers and Niners, as we discussed, we think Tom Brady's going to run away with this one. 49ers brought back to earth a little bit. They're totally not out of this one. By the way, guys, that division is not good. Cardinals, bad. Geno Smith, fading. Rams, awful. Niners are going to win this division. Doesn't matter who is the quarterback. But they're not going to win this game. Tom Brady, Buccaneers. That pirate ship is going to keep on sailing this week. They move to above 500. Afternoon games, 125 Fox. Panthers at the Seahawks. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith. Panthers winless on the road. 0-5. A lot of people like what Steve Wilks is doing out there, though. They say he's got the team. They're bought into Steve Wilks. Trap game here. What are you thinking? Panthers at Seahawks. Seahawks have faded to 7-5, by the way. 3-2 at home.
Yeah, I like a win for Seattle. They need it just to kind of keep alive in this division, and I think they get it this weekend. Panthers continuing to just try to kind of fight through whatever's left. Sam Darnold been pulled and reseated so many times in that number one quarterback spot that I just think his rhythm is going to be off. And I love Geno Smith to have a big game. 12th man showing up big time, and
Cheetos.
should be loud.
Yeah, I think this is the game if the Seahawks are going to bounce back. Look, this is your time to pounce on that division. They're 7-5. They're creeping up on the Niners. You can't keep fading. This is your week to do it. Get this one against the Panthers. Niners should lose against the Buccaneers. Now you're in prime position. Kingsbury not going to have a job next year. I just don't see it happening. Not in Arizona. You cannot be this bad. It's atrocious what's happening in Arizona.
Man, I
Seahawks
can see I
prime
can
position.
see IU just hiring Cliff Kingsbury. I can just man.
Oh, good
Oh
lord,
no.
Cliff Kingsbury. Hey, that would be the perfect fit. Indiana Hoosiers, Cliff Kingsbury, match made in heaven.
Man, I'm just
Telling you.
boiling mad thinking about it. Oh, I hope not.
Well, hey, you heard Sean Payton say he's gonna be back sooner than later, and Arizona is probably one of those spots. I think it's a place where you want to come play when you have Murray and Hopkins. They just need somebody that knows what's going on, calling plays. Sean Payton, Super Bowl coach, would be a great fit again. Um, you really look for that to happen. So hopefully that's the case in Arizona because they're totally over cliff out here in the desert. Panthers, going to lose to the Seahawks. Bookie said 3.5. We'll give Seattle all of 3.5. Kenneth Walker is injured, I believe, and may not play this week.
Mm.
That leads me to believe DK Metcalf is going to be getting in the zone. DK Metcalf is on my sheet for the anytime touchdown. And then we move to our night game, which is also going to be a good game. Dolphins in LA at the Chargers, 8-4 Dolphins at the 6-6 Chargers. Both teams getting healthier now, playing back into form. What do you got here? Dolphins on the road, but I do like the Dolphins. Miami favored by a field goal flat, 3 points, 52 is the total. Great weather in LA, closed stadium, conditioned. Real nice.
Um, yeah, I mean the Chargers have looked pretty suspect 2 weeks in a row, and the Dolphins are marching towards a playoff spot. I think they have I don't want to say more weapons. I just think that they had better health with their weapons, and the Chargers have. They're just notorious for injuries. I mean, not just this year. Keenan Allen is like permanently injured. I don't even know what it's for, but he's just never. He's not around.
Yeah,
So
it's tough.
yeah, I'll take the Dolphins to to get this. I mean, of course, yeah, LA is going to come out, and I think Herbert will keep this thing close the first three quarters, but I just think they'll ride Jeff Wilson's legs and grind this out for a dub by the end of it.
Yeah, I do. Again, he's on my sheet for a touchdown. I think that was a great trade, by the way, for the Dolphins. I think he just fits better over there. It's clearly apparent he's been a great runner for them, great scoring. On my sheet, anytime touchdown, Jeff Wilson. I do have the Dolphins winning this one, but I think this could be a lot closer. People think. Um, and I'm taking the 2.5, 2.5 because I think it could be a field goal game. So I'm sticking with that. It's a big bye week, by the way. We got a lot of buys this week, and we're now on to the Monday night game, which is Belichick and the Patriots coming to the desert to face Kingsbury and the Cardinals, who are 1-6 at home, 4-8. Battle of two really bad teams. And from a football fan standpoint, again, two bad teams, a good coach and a bad coach. A team with a 500 road record versus a team with a 1-6 home record. I'm taking the Patriots all day. Patriots are favored by 2 points. Totals at 45. Indoor game, of course. State Farm Stadium, Glendale. I think the Patriots just fucking destroy the Cardinals this game. Honestly, like I think this is going to be bad. I think Murray's going to throw picks. Mac Jones is going to look like a goblin out there. Belichick is going to make people start questioning again, what he can do with a severely under-talented team. Mac Jones wants to throw the ball. We've seen him yelling. People have pulled up those GIFs and memes. Patricia, is he really a good OC? Is Mac Jones going to be in New England much longer? A lot of questions, but the one question for me that is not even a question is who wins this game, and it's the Patriots. But what are you seeing?
Well, first off, Matt Patricia went from being like a prominent defensive coordinator to a failed head coach in the Lions, and now just back to offensive coordinator. Like, is that pretty much what he's their offensive coordinator right now, right?
I think so, but it just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't
It
like
reminds me of this John Fox quote that he said when he was in charge of the Bears. He's like, "I'm not an offensive coordinator, not a defensive coordinator, not a special teams coordinator, but I can just coordinate everything." It makes no sense. It's sketching me out. The offense looks terrible, but who better to get right against than Clifford Kingsbury and the Redbirds? I mean, they're just waiting. If you need to get right on your schedule, that's who you want to see. The Cardinals have been dreadful. DeAndre Hopkins is pretty much the only go-to. Defenses know that. They key in on them. And with Kyler's hamstring being on and off, no defense, yeah, it's all around just a bad recipe. So I like what you said, Patriots just dominating fashion. They just probably do everything right this Sunday. Another rough week in store for the Cards.
Yeah, I know Mac Jones is gonna be playing like crazy and balling out, and yeah, I mean, you got Zach Ertz out for the season, injury. Robbie Anderson's been a no-show. AJ Green's washed. Cliff doesn't know when to give James Conner the ball, and Chase Edmonds is not there anymore. They cut Benjamin. I don't know what's going on. It's just not a team that's headed in the right direction, and all signs point to Cliff not being the head coach of the team next year because with what they had, they should not be this bad. And this guy just can't win home games. He can't call plays. Like,
His offense might be the worst thing about him, and that's like why he was hired. So again, it's troubling. You have to expect Steve Keim to either be relieved of his duties or immediately step down when Cliff's fired because again, that was his hire. This was basically he was going to live or die by this, and it's clear it has not worked out. So
yeah, it's a totally different ball game when you're playing the Temple Owls of Patrick Mahomes versus coaching in the NFL. Totally different. It's just it's not or not was he the guy? Was he the one who coached Mahomes or was it?
yeah, no,
Yeah,
he coached him at
he was
Texas Tech.
yeah. Yeah, totally, just totally different. I mean, you've seen college defenses; they let you score. Like the overs hit like every game. It's just band music and touchdowns. Different story over here. You can't win at home. The fans want you to win. And let's be honest, Arizona's a fucking generous place to lose because that's all they're used to. You can get away with 3 losing seasons, but season 4 comes around, you still look at the Surface Pro kind of weird and nothing happens.
Not
Jones
good.
come
It's
back.
time to go.
That's
Time
good.
to go.
Yeah, all things bad there. The bye week teams this week, so a lot of teams getting the bye. 6 bye week teams: the Dirty Birds, Monsters of the Midway, the Packers, Colts, Saints, and Commanders. So teams all very much needing a bye week. All teams in a slump of those. Really a race to the bottom as who's going to get the best draft pick out of those teams. Teams that are just going nowhere fast. And yeah, they need to regroup. So good for them to have that rest week. To me, it does seem like a pretty solid betting week, I'll say, for props and for a couple spreads. I think you can get some good 3 legs in here this week. Give me your locks of the week and your upset of the week as we wrap up and close the episode tonight.
3 locks and an upset.
Yeah, yep.
Um,
Well,
yeah,
really, just
so
you can do one lock and an upset.
lock in an upset. Well, the
Yep.
technical upset I'm gonna go with is the Vikings. Obviously, they're still a plus team on
Lions,
FanDuel, so
Dan Campbell.
yeah, so Lions fumble the opportunity here being favored. I'll go Minnesota with the upset in Vegas. Um, and then as far as my 3 locks, I'm gonna lock in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the, Cincinnati Bengals, and Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah,
Yeah,
feel like I'll be able to
fairly.
sleep good with those.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna definitely go with kicking it off to start the Amazon Prime game. I mean, I think Raiders for sure gonna get that W. And we keep the succession rolling. Really, the first 3 on the slate for me, Raiders are gonna dominate the Rams. I think that's a cover for sure at 7 points now, but we're up to. Bills' revenge game against the Jets. They're hosting. They're 9-3. They get that W, walk away clean. And then the Browns at the Bengals, another one. That's 3 straight. The 3 first games on the slate, all guaranteed wins right there. The one upset I'm gonna say might happen is the Eagles at the Giants, and that's only because it's a division rivalry game and it's the second game they've played. Bookies are saying Eagles by a field goal, and the Eagles are undefeated on the road, and I don't know how much longer that's gonna happen. Everybody keeps talking about, hey, now it's Eagles walking away with it. Jalen Hurts MVP. If there's a slip up game, it could very well be this one against a division rival. And you finally get that road blemish. They move to 11-2. So I'm saying watch it because to me, that's the biggest potential. Everything else, I think there's quite a bit of wins across the board, unless you have something crazy happen like the Texans beating the Cowboys. There's not going to be really many upsets this week. Everything's pretty straightforward, even matched division games, good teams against bad teams. So that's where I stand on that one. Wow, 14 weeks of football. And tomorrow we get our 14th Amazon Prime game. Or maybe it's our 13th because I think it started the second week. But we'll see if it can live up to the expectation, to the hype. Um, Next week we are going to have a new guest next week on the football episode. Going to have a new guest. So I'll fill you in on that and get you that information over. Um,
Sounds good.
Looking forward to that. We're gonna have some other episodes coming up. And guys, special announcement too. We got the ticker on here scrolling across, but beginning of the year, January time is kind of what we're shooting for right now. We are gonna have the official website um, up, Fun Times website up. So more to come on that. We'll update you as we go. But we're gonna have some good opportunities there, a lot of good content, good information, and continue to bring to you guys every week videos, episodes, and more from all aspects, all things that we cover, so stay tuned.
Yep, gonna be excited to get
Yeah,
back. We'll see the drop of that, and like you said, we got a new guest coming up as well as here soon. We'll talk the dark side of the cyber world and what that holds for the future. So everybody stay
newer
safe.
and
Should be
yeah,
good.
yeah, police robots approved to kill. That was given an order in San Francisco. So we'll talk about that. AI. I know we all know about iRobot, but we're gonna dabble into some technology on an episode here soon. on the rise of technology, the good and the bad, pros and cons. Self-driving cars going to save us a lot of time, but you don't want to get murdered by robots in your sleep. So stay alert, stay awake. We'll see you guys next time. Drop a
Yep.
comment, like, subscribe, questions, chats, predictions. We'll cover it on the next show. Thank you guys for stopping by. Fun
Till
time
next
today.
time.
We'll see you next week.